Good evening, welcome to Porte ISD, and thank you for being here. It is now 7:07, Tuesday, February 11th, 2024, and I hereby call this meeting to order. Notice of this meeting was posted in a manner required by law at 5 p.m. February 7th, and the subjects to be discussed and or considered or upon which any formal action may be taken have been listed. The Board of Trustees of LaPorte Independent School District is now convened. Let the record show that Trustee Deanne Thompson is not in attendance as she had another commitment, but all other remaining trustees are here and a quorum is present. As the LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees, every student's success is our number one priority. We are here to set goals, adopt policy, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and communicate the district's vision and success to the community. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. School board meetings are open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. However, audience participation is limited to the stakeholder presentation portion of the meeting, and board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. These proceedings may be recorded, and I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. At this time, will you please stand for the presentation of colors led by the LaPorte High School ROTC. Tonight on the American flag, Commander Sergeant Major Yasmin Salas. The Texas flag, Captain Sonia Nazir. American Rifle Sergeant Jacob Cottrell. And Texas Rifle Private First Class Eden Gloria. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee. Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Will you now please bow your head for tonight's invocation? Dear Heavenly Father, we gather here in your presence and we ask that you continue to guide our paths here. Give us the wisdom to make good decisions in the interest of all those that we lead and are charged to our care. We ask that you offer a hedge of protection around our district and our children and our staff. We ask all of this in your name. Amen. Amen. Now may be seated. We'll now move to item 5, board recognitions. Tonight's recognitions will be presented by Director of Communications, Mr. Adam Holland.
There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, we have LaPorte Elementary Singers here to perform for us under the direction of Miss Kathy Perisher. And while they're making their way up, when the performance is done, if you guys, kiddos and parents, exit out this way, the hallway will take you around and it prevents a bottleneck here. So anyway, enjoy the performance.
Come on in. Get in your 2 minutes. Scoot over towards the middle a little bit. Scoot on over there. Scoot that way. Carly. Okay, everybody come this way. This way. This way. This way. Come on. There you go. Hello, I'm Kathy Perisher, and today we have a second grade class. This is Miss Knighton's second grade class, and we want to spread the love tonight. So we're going to do some Valentine songs for you.
Okay. Okay.
Your back is
Okay.
okay.
All
Did they
right.
teach you what to do?
I think she did.
Okay. The most important thing is that you turn that way and then the next time you turn around. You got it turned. Everybody ready? Everybody ready?
Y'all did great. Here, everybody just scoot this way too.
Come this way.
Right here. Good? Come on in. There we go.
Good job.
Great job.
You'll have prayer next time. I don't care where you stand. Tell me where you want me. No, say it. Tell me where to be, and I'll be there.
That was something, wasn't it?
That was great.
That was beautiful.
Moving forward with our recognitions, LaPorte High School is represented in both the brass and percussion sections of the 2025 Texas Music Educators Association All-State Band. This is the second time for LaPorte band students to earn All-State honors since 2015. They are percussionist Santiago Ballesteros, trumpet player Richard Ortegon, and French horn player Evan Halberdier. They were all named. They were all named to this elite band after January 11th auditions. Now, to reach the milestone, they had to audition multiple times in a process that began with more than, get this, 70,000 band students from across Texas. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Way to go, gentlemen.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations.
And if I'm not mistaken, the clinic, you guys leave tomorrow for the clinic, right? And the concert? So go get them. Good
Go
luck.
get them. Right.
We have another All-State performer in the house. In addition to numerous other accolades during her many years as a dancer, senior Chateau captain Kaylee Hanks was selected as an All-State dancer for the Texas Dance Educators Association. There we are.
Get down there and take it with her, Danny. Get down there and take it.
Kaylee attended the annual TDEA convention and performed as a featured dancer with other All-State students selected from across the state of Texas. By the way, Kaylee was recruited and received an athletic scholarship for the national champion Blinn College dance team, where she will be attending next fall.
Danny.
Down there with her. Come on. Put on real clothes. I want my picture made, dang it.
Congratulations, Kaylee.
Thank you, Maestro.
National School Counseling Week 2025 was this past week, February the 3rd through the 7th, to focus attention on the unique contribution of school counselors within U.S. school systems. Tonight, we recognize LaPorte ISD's wonderful counselors and highlights the tremendous impact that they have in helping students achieve school success, plan for a career, and with social and emotional support. And we're going to start out in no particular order, but with elementary counselors. Cindy Martin, Bayshore Elementary School. Audra Mazariegos, College Park Elementary School. Hillary McClellan, Heritage Elementary, could not be here this evening, but let's acknowledge her anyway. Diana Harelka, LaPorte Elementary School. Lisa Cox, Lomax Elementary School. Danielle Knight, Jenny Reed Elementary. And Melissa Mansfield, Rizzuto Elementary School. And our secondary counselors, Brenda New, LaPorte Junior High School. Jill Howells, Lomax Junior High School. April Hawthorne, the Academy of Viola DeWalt High School. And from LaPorte High School, Robin Galvan. Carla Vaughn. Esther Norton. Brenda Sadler. And Jennifer Cummings. Lacey Rodriguez is the counselor at James H. Baker. She could not be here this evening, but we also want to recognize a couple of district-level counselors. Erin Cameron Webb, crisis counselor. And may I have this certificate, please? And finally, Jancy Alfaro. Your LaPorte ISD counselors, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as I picture.
It doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to acknowledge and honor our business partners of the month, Ms. Terry Cook.
Thank you. Thank you. We have two outstanding business partners that we'd like to acknowledge tonight. We're going to start with AO1 Roofing. AO1 Roofing is one of 7 partners in education that sponsor individual grade levels at LaPorte Elementary School. A former student at LaPorte High School, owner Mark McGuire is deeply committed to giving back to the community that has given him so much. He and his team partner with the first grade at LaPorte Elementary, and so far this year his company has provided a popcorn machine for the school, Christmas gifts for students, and glow sticks and party favors for a glow party. They aim to continue building this partnership and lighten the load for teachers. In addition, he has been involved in the Student Life program from the organization's beginning and serves on their community leader team. He also plays an active role on the board for LaPorte First Church, which partners with 3 of our campuses to help provide food for students who face food insecurity. Mark and his wife, Jana, who's here with him tonight, are committed to using the blessings that they have received through AO1 Roofing to help our community. Mark and Jana, if you'd please come up. Thank you so much. Thank you. If y'all go take a picture. Thank you, Mark and Janet. Our next company is the Steppen Company. New to the LaPorte area, Steppen Company lost no time in demonstrating the company's commitment to education in our community. As the industry was settling in its location at Bay Area Boulevard this fall, a company representative reached out to us to see about the need for school supplies in our district. And then they stopped by with a large donation of those supplies for our students. Before the holidays, they expressed interest in helping LaPorte ISD families in need, and then provided a generous donation of toys for Agape-centric Christmas Blessings program with LaPorte ISD. We welcome Steppen Company to the community and thank them for their interest and their involvement in our schools. And representing Steppen tonight are the site manager, Martina Hadoba. Martina, if you'd come forward, please. Andre Caesar. And the one who first reached out to us about all this is Tanya White. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more item in our list of recognitions, and with that, I want to hand the microphone over to Ms. Charlotte Penny, the Executive Director of the LaPorte Education Foundation.
Thank you so much, everyone. We are so excited tonight to have some special presentations, as Adam mentioned. We aren't going to keep you in suspense any longer, and to help us do that at the foundation is Mrs. Melissa Crutcher, our president of the LaPorte Education Foundation.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. So I would like to first introduce my board, who is the board members who are here tonight, and ask them to come stand up here with us. So I have Michael Berry, Joseph Swerzen, Marissa Alvarez, Debbie Wade, Carrie Regan, and Karen Wheeler Hall. If y'all would come to the front, stand over here. So this fantastic board works really hard behind the scenes, and one of the things that they have done recently is we have been working on some grants and stuff, and so we have gotten lots and lots of questions about when we're going to award our Share the Love grants. And just to give you a little backstory of where that came from, last year our then president, Frank Nance, introduced the idea of doing some mini grants in the spring to kind of offset some of the expenses that our teachers experience in the springtime. And with that came the idea of let's keep it going if we can. So we are so very blessed, and actually, Frank, if you'll join us up here too, please. Frank's here too. We are so blessed and so excited to be able to award $5,188.54 to 24 teachers. And some of those teachers are here with us tonight. They didn't know what they were coming for. So as we call your name, please come up here and accept your Valentine from us, because we'd love to share a little love with you. And Miss Debbie Wade is going to share that with you.
Okay, this is not Dollar Patrol, but we can still clap and cheer and be excited, because we're excited to give you lots of money. So if your name is called, please come on up. Jeanette Saucedo from Lomax Elementary. And if you'll just come right on down here. Alicia Hodges from Jenny Reed Elementary. Dawn Higgins from Heritage Elementary. We will get this to Dawn. Kirsty Fontenot from Lomax Junior High. They didn't know why they were being called to the meeting, so it's a surprise. Casey Groening from LaPorte Elementary. Shelby Zika from Lomax Elementary.
Teresa Agarado from LaPorte High School. Lindsay Jackson from College Park Elementary. Savannah Keeler from Lomax Junior High. Megan Smith from College Park Elementary. It's Meghan. Alexandra Holland from Lomax Junior High. Michael Newman from Administration. Come on down. Crystal Johnson, Lomax Elementary. Emily Reedy from LaPorte High School. Sarah Stockdale from LaPorte Elementary. Shannon Fanning from Baker, 6th grade campus. And the other Megan Smith from Lomax Junior High. Is she here? Okay. Bobby Murphy, LaPorte High School. Mona Gibbs from Rizzuto Elementary. Chelsea McAllister, Bayshore Elementary. Donna Miller from Lomax Junior High. +1. Oh, +2, I'm sorry. Come on up. Carla Petrie from Lomax Junior High. Misty Prock from College Park Elementary. And Taylor Harris from Bayshore Elementary. Teachers and staff, we just want to thank you for all that you do for our kids, and we wish you good luck for the rest of the year, and enjoy your new stuff that's coming pretty soon. Awesome.
we don't normally summon people to a board meeting to fire them, so, you know,
Unless you deserve a public
I was gonna say, it may have happened once or twice.
All right, board, we're going to move on to item 6, public comment. The board will now hear those who wish to make comments and who have completed and returned the public comment participation request. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and board policy. As such, this is a reminder that board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. Complaints and/or concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. Mr. Martin, do we have any registered speakers?
Mr. President, we do not.
All right, please note for the record, we don't have any registered speakers, so we will move on to item 7, our administrative reports. Dr. Jackson, would you like to start?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, and to the board members that are here. Just a really brief overview. You have a copy of my notes of the board legislative update, but I just wanted to share a couple of things that the 89th legislative session is in session, and 140 days total. But they've just getting started, and I just wanted to call your attention to a couple of things that certainly would impact us in a huge way. Senate Bill 4, going to the Senate committee meeting on possibly today that happened. This would increase the homestead exemption from $100,000 to $140K and provide hold harmless state aid for prior tax relief measures. It is not clear if the hold harmless would be beneficial for all districts, as there are many contributing requirements to qualify for the hold harmless. Hold harmless simply means that the district would receive state aid to cover the tax revenue lost by increasing the homestead exemption. So we want to keep our eyes on Senate Bill 4. Also, House Bill 217. This would increase the required vote threshold to pass a TRE, tax ratification election, from 50% to a supermajority of 60%. This would become effective after January 1st, 2026. So we will need to certainly keep our eyes on House Bill 217. Also, we want to make note of House Bill 683 and Senate Bill 233. This would remove the average daily attendance from the funding formula and replace it with average enrollment for the school year. And this would certainly be a positive for LaPorte ISD, who has noticed shrinking enrollment over the last 10 years or so. And so this would be a great plus. As you will recall, this was part of our legislative priorities when we visited a few months ago. And so we're really excited about this and hope that it will take off and pass ultimately and help us. Senate Bill 260, this would increase the school safety allotment to $20 per student in ADA, that's average daily attendance, and $30,000 per campus. This also would be, something that would benefit greatly our school district and our safety and security measures. We can always say we would want more, but we would be certainly grateful for what we're getting, right? We would always say we would use more, but we're most grateful for what we would be getting. And then lastly, but not least, we want to keep a close eye on Senate Bill 533. This would require all bond and TRE elections to be held in November and only would be effective after 9/1/2025. And so, board, just for your attention, I want to bring those, and we'll continue to do this in our coming board public meetings, that we just keep us all together focused. I know you get updates from your professional organizations just as we do, but certainly we want to make certain that we're all focused on the things that we believe that will help our school district be successful in the future. And this will conclude my board update for the legislative, and you have a copy of my board report, and I will not read that tonight. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson. And I would urge the public, as this legislative session starts to unfold, is to take 10 minutes a day and really try to educate yourself on the legislative process and what is on the floor. There's a number of things, and obviously school finance is so complex And I would just urge it, and we're going to do our best to be ambassadors and go out there and try to educate and advocate, but we need the public's help. So I would look into those state websites and really try to read those laws and get a better understanding of how they're going to affect us in the manner going forward. So be interesting to see how it all plays out. We now will move to item 7B and get a special programs update.
Billy Trader.
Trader, how are you?
So, let's see, it looks like my calendar here.
There you go.
So, good evening.
Good evening.
President Hanks, Board of Trustees, Dr. Jackson.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to tell you about all the great things, or some of the great things. We don't have all night, so we're going to talk about all the great things and special programs in Porte ISD. So, no special education presentation would be complete if we didn't start talking about the numbers and how great we are at identifying students with special needs in LaPorte ISD. We have an outstanding team of evaluators that partner with educators on our campuses to evaluate students who need specially designed instruction. So as you can see, from 2020 to 2025 today, and actually hot off the press, we have 1,307. We have 1,307 students right before I came over here for this meeting. So we've added about 300 students in the last 5 years. So while the district may be declining in enrollment, my department certainly is not. We're at 18.45% of the district. And so that's a robust number of students, and we have to provide them all sorts of different ways to meet their needs. So across that, do you want me to go back? Sorry. Across the spectrum of those students, the 1301, we have 13 eligibility criteria, federal mandated eligibility criteria. Our biggest criteria is usually specific learning disability, which now, I don't know if you remember from last year's presentation, I'm sure it's still reeling in your mind, that we had to add dyslexia under learning disability. So it is definitely our largest area of disability, followed by speech. And then other health impairment, autism, intellectual disability, just for you to know. Because we have such a wide array of needs, we have to provide a continuum of services. And so as looking at this, I hope I can see now that that's probably very small, so I'll let you know what those are. We have resource inclusion, that's our largest program, and that's our mainstream students. So those are students who are in general ed, and we push in supports for them. We also provide speech to students, and we do that either on their campus, and we have students also, little bitties as I call them, who drop in. Their parents drop them off and they get speech with us, and then they pick them up. We also have focus, and that's our students with our most significant cognitive impairments or life skills. You may know it better that way. SAIL is our program for students with autism or communication disabilities. Early childhood special education, or ECSC, that's one of our biggest growing populations. We now serve 53 of those, and we have programs on 2 different campuses. We're really excited about that. Our behavior support program, Bulldog Bridge, and then we have some students in out-of-district placements. So we have a small but mighty army that provides all of the specially designed instruction to this number of students. So, of course, we have all of the professionals in the background who work at the SPC with me, but our 2 primary providers of instruction in that day-to-day in and out helping students reach their potential are our teachers. We have 59 special education teachers, and we have 104 paraprofessionals, and they are doing the day-to-day heavy lift of those students. We have quite a few things to celebrate, but some of the celebrations that I want to highlight are our year-over-year growth in college, career, and military readiness, and you probably know as CCMR, and we'll talk about that in a second. Our STAR performance and our sustainable outcomes for students with significant needs, specifically through Bulldog Bridge, but not entirely. So in college, career, and military readiness, as you can see, in 21 and 22, we had 60 students who completed their CCMR requirements. In 23-24, we moved that up to 83. So every year, year over year, we're getting more and more students who are meeting that requirement by partnering with CTE. But what I'm most excited about is the industry-based certification. Again, another partnership with CTE and a partnership with some of our other departments, food and nutrition. We've got students who, as you can see in 2021, 22, we only had 4 students who graduated with an industry-based certification. That meant those 4 students could walk out of high school, even with special needs, and go straight to work. Last year we had 33. Every year we're increasing that. We're very proud of that number. That means that they are ready and able to work and be an active member of our community. And the reason that's so significant, I just want to harp on this, is because right now we have 58 seniors. Because we don't graduate, I mean, 1,300 is a lot, but you know, it's spread out throughout the grades. We have 58 seniors, so over half right now will be able, you know, they'll have that certification, they can go out and get a job, and that's very important in our department. But I can't let high school outdo 3 through 8 because they are rocking and rolling too. So in LaPorte ISD, in reading language arts and in math on the 2024 STAR, we outperformed the state or met the state in every grade level, both reading language art and math.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
We're very proud. That is not me.
That's
That
a
is
huge-
the
that's a
outstanding
huge milestone
teachers
for
and
us.
paraprofessionals on every single campus. Our gen ed and our sped teachers partner together and make sure that these students have exactly what they need.
Good job.
But then we get to our sustainable adult outcomes, that is the goal of all special ed, regardless of your program. And we have some great community partners. You already know that we partner with nutrition, and we have a graduate who is now fully employed with our nutrition department. We partner with the CTE store at the high school, the church, Walgreens. HEB, we have 2 locations. Walgreens, we have 1. We have 2 libraries. We use the Comfort Suites. We work with Texas Workforce Commission. We do summer earn and learn where the kiddos can try on different jobs and then they are able to practice different skills because not every job is suitable for every student. Some environments are better than others. Some skills are better than others. So we partner with a wide variety of local businesses. One thing we need more of, and I don't know if any of you know anybody that works in this industry, but restaurants. I'm just saying, we've got a couple of local restaurants that might need some assistance. Anyway, call me. So we're always looking for new job sites. I mean, nothing like a little pressure in public. So some of our sustainable outcomes that we've had just in the last couple of years of the Bulldog Bridge being open is we have one, and I know you all know Tyler Bryan, that is fully employed now with LaPorte ISD. But he's not the only one. We actually have another student who came from Bulldog Bridge who is a custodian now at the high school. And prior to Bulldog Bridge, we still have another student that came prior to Bulldog Bridge who is a custodian for us in the evening and sometimes works in our building, so that's really great. And we have 1 student that graduated from the Bridge who's taking certification classes at San Jack, and then 3 that are self-employed with their own businesses, and we're very proud of those students, and we hope to grow that program every year. But all success doesn't come without a few challenges. So some of the challenges that we're facing right now are that we have an increase of numbers of students who need out-of-district placement. And an out-of-district placement is when a student has behavior that is so unsafe and so dangerous that we are unable to meet their needs. But we still want to meet their needs, and we want them to get some growth. So we have to partner with local school districts and private schools that specialize in this behavior. It's costly, for one, and it requires additional buses, additional bus drivers, and aides. And right now, some of our students have to go as far as Katy, but that's what we do to get them what they need. We also have an increase in students with significant needs at all levels. And so when I say significant needs, I mean the life skills students, the focus students, are early childhood special education students. But we've got some initiatives because we're working on all of this. So our initiatives for our out-of-district placements are this year we reimagined our approach to behavior because we had to come up with some new strategies to try to help these students either not go to an off-campus placement or bring them back as soon as we can.
So we've paired up our behavior specialist with a school psychologist, and they're dedicated to all of our behavior programs. So both SAIL and BSP, they travel together, and that gives continuity to the students, the parents, and as the students progress up and down in our, not down, up throughout our schools, they have the same team that they know. We review their behavior data every 9 weeks and adjust plans, because if we're not making progress, then we're not doing enough. And if we're making progress, then we need to pull back. So through that, we've been able to exit quite a few students and focus really in on the ones that have the most significant needs. So that's one way we're trying to reduce our number of out-of-district placements. Yes, ma'am. Of course.
So I know you said you've got the specialist and the psychologist going into the behavior programs,
Yes,
but many of our students with cognitive disabilities have severe behaviors. What are we doing to support those behaviors inside the focus program? Because I am hearing that is like a real issue at this time. And it's very dangerous.
Yeah,
it
yes.
could be. I'm not saying it
Yes,
is right
yeah.
now. It could become very dangerous.
You are correct. So we utilize that same team as well in those programs. And I will tell you, that is the bulk of our out-of-district placements this year are the life skills students or the focus students. We are utilizing the LSSPs or the school psychologists on every campus to help us with FBAs. We have Dr. Velasco now who comes in and models that support for the teachers to help them learn how to be safe. But once we get to a certain point where other children are not safe, the adults are not safe, we have to make that tough decision to put them into an education placement where they can thrive and everyone is safe.
And
But
we've had to do that a couple of times.
yes, sir, we've done that 11 times this year.
Involved in some of them.
We've had to do some.
I
We've
watched you do it. I observed
Yes,
you
sir.
do it massively.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot. You're right, Karen.
It is a lot, but the most important.
It's almost a class.
Part of
Or it
what
is
we
a
do.
class.
It is a class.
It is a class.
It
I mean,
is.
and it's a big class. You know, I think sometimes people don't realize when you're in a focus class, they say, oh, there's only 13, multiply it by 5.
Yes.
Because it's tough. And so when you've got the behaviors to go along with the cognitive disabilities, that's a tough
Yeah.
load to handle as a teacher.
And Ms. Schroeder, you might want to address at some point, I know you're probably already planning to do that, just some of the challenges we've had in placements sometimes.
Yes. So I'll do that now because I didn't have it on a slide, but we used to have more options for placements. We had ABS East, which is our go-to. They have always provided us with great education and a partnership. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to take any additional students in the last 2 years. And because of that, we are having to utilize ABS West, which is in Katy. It's a very far drive for some of our littles that have significant disabilities. We're also having to utilize Avondale House, which is a great facility. It's near NRG. However, it's very expensive. I mean, you guys know, you see, it's incredibly expensive. We also utilize a school for students with emotional and behavior disorders in Baytown called Hunting Bayou. But those placements are getting harder and harder to find, and my neighbor districts are creating their own. But what they're finding is they cannot staff them and they can't keep everyone safe. So a lot of those have not been successful. So we're hopeful that Harris County will be able to take more students next year. Yes. So yes, that has been a challenge. So because we have more students with significant needs, the best way that I can think of to honor those teachers and to provide supports for those students is to make sure those teachers make more money, as they should, in my opinion. So we have adopted, or we are in the process of adopting, this is hot off the press, only Dr. Velasco knows and Ms. Abram, that we are looking at adopting Teach Town, which is supplemental curriculum for early childhood special ed all the way to AT+. So you may be familiar with ULS, what we used before in the life skills. This is much more robust. Much more robust, and it follows the kiddos. So if you're in Teach Town at 3, they can track your data all the way until adult. So as you change teachers, the workload is less on the teacher. They don't have to relearn everything about the student. The progress is updated. It is excellent. It is a little bit more expensive than what we're used to, but anything that takes the load off of them is worth it, in my opinion. Also, it's preparing our focus teachers for TIA. So next year, we'll start that data collection piece for those teachers so that they can receive TIA as well. And it won't necessarily have to be tied to the STAR test. It's tied on student growth based on their individual goals. We're very excited about that. So,
And I've heard that it's really nice for the teachers because it has actually, it's so hard when you're teaching all these different levels. You have non-readers, you have some that can read,
Yes.
they're all in the same room, and you're trying to teach one lesson and you've spent all night till midnight trying to put together something, and then your para doesn't show up that day, so it's just you and 20 kids.
Lord help it. That's not. But yes, that can happen, and so it's right there for them. So we're very excited about that. We're most excited about the progress monitoring, that it helps the teachers with IEPs, and that it follows the kiddos, because that's really important. So with that's what I have for you this evening, and I thank you for your continued support of our programs. And of course, take any questions.
Board, questions?
I just have to say, I had after, I guess it was the professional development at the beginning of January, I think I asked you about it.
Oh, the preview.
So
Yeah.
the teachers and the paras who saw the preview at that time, I had people reaching out to me saying,
I did
"We
too.
need this."
Oh, well,
I mean,
I'm
they-
excited
so
then.
I am excited that we are doing something that they're excited about.
Me too.
And
Yeah, they were definitely sold on that.
We are too.
Well, they'll
We're very
reach out and let
excited.
us- If this comes to the board, you better approve it.
Yeah, that was kind of
That was-
Hey, I like it. A subtle threat. I like it.
And they even included like little snippets of what was in it, so we could actually
Yeah.
see.
I got cookies. I don't know what y'all talking about.
That's been a labor of love for Dr. Velasco. She's like a piranha. She's out there trying to find anything that makes teachers' lives easier, and so we're thrilled to be able to give that to them.
That'd be nice, because when we first got the life skills curriculum 100 years ago, it was so,
a big deal.
It was. That was my
It-
first year as a teacher.
I know. I
And
remember.
it was so nice because we actually had a curriculum that you could use to teach kids.
At their level.
At their level.
Yeah, at their
So
pace.
this is-
Yeah.
This will be nice.
This is even better. We're very
Ms. Trader,
excited.
we talk at length amongst ourselves about SPED. And obviously the population continues to grow.
Yes, sir.
And there's different challenges that are everybody's facing, right? And we want to think outside the box. And if we can't find staff, which is obviously a growing issue nationwide, right, for this, that's a specialized type of operation.
Yes, sir.
If there are systems and curriculum and those type of things that we can do to help lighten the burden, please bring those to us.
Yes, sir.
We've got to find other solutions in just finding the quality, heart-led servant leaders that want to go out and do this work. Obviously there aren't enough.
Right. And it is a
so
calling.
if this is another way we can kind of subsidize and help offset that, we want to do it. So please, I challenge you, no matter how big or crazy it may think.
He said it.
Bring it and let us discuss it, but that's what we want to do.
Okay.
And that's the best way we can offer our assistance, in my opinion. So I urge you to just please don't keep anything off the table. Bring it to us.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of that same vein. We get to hear from a very passionate parent on a regular basis, right? And it's hard because we don't get to ask questions. So we hear a lot of stuff and we get emails all the time. We do spend a lot of time talking about this. You mentioned money, which I'm glad you brought that up because, again, who does need more money? And that's something we'll work towards, but I know I'm putting you on the spot.
It's okay.
So, but his point, if there's other resources that you see, like, because I know you've worked in other districts, or you guys partner with like a lot of different people, I'm sure. But there's something that we need to do as that population continues to grow. And am I mistaken? Like, I believe when we had our taper report, it was like 16 or 18%. That's gone up even more
Last
since
year,
then?
it ended at 17, 16, 9. So it's grown.
So it's already gone up. So
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is kind of silly, but do we essentially have like a break point? Like, say if it hits 25%, does the state require us to have extra people, or is there any?
No, there really isn't, but I can tell you this. As we've grown this year, we've had to add additional teaching units. Anytime that I go to Dr. Jackson and say, hey,
Done that several times.
yes, sir, we have teaching units and para units, he says, you know what you need, get what you need, and we get it every time. But no, we don't have, there's no magic rule or number, but we make sure that we do our very best to make sure that we have enough staff. We've had quite a few transfers this year. It has made it challenging, but we've been able to meet those needs. or get them to a place where they can meet their needs.
So let's investigate if there is a district that is out there that's doing a really good job of housing their own kids instead of having, I know we got some severe issues, but because we may have a facility that we could do that. I just don't know that we could staff it. But
That's usually the issue.
it's not the
but
facility, it's
we can
the
research.
resources. But at least let's research that and maybe we can have something to bring before the board.
It's people intensive.
It's the people.
You know, so if you normally have a classroom with one teacher and maybe 2 paras, you're probably looking at a classroom with at least 4 paras, because you're gonna have, so that's the big thing. And again, it's not even the money, it's finding the bodies to put in.
Yes,
there,
ma'am.
Because it takes a different kind of person to do that than it does to teach, some of the kinder, gentler, and I'm not saying these kids aren't kind, but they're
Just have unique needs.
It's a physical job.
It's a physical job. Yes, ma'am.
So, have to find that person.
Yes.
Well, know that, I know there's a number of our teachers that watch this stream, and just know that we are 100% behind this department and the good work that you do. And I know that it's exhaustive, but just know that you got a number of people pulling for you, and anything we can do to try to help, we want to be there for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, all of you.
This district does a great job in special ed.
I agree.
They really do.
Are our numbers comparable to and I'm asking for the public, but are our numbers comparable to our neighbors?
Yes, sir.
Neighboring schools?
Everyone is seeing the intensive growth. And I think some of it is just we're better at identifying now. We truly are. So,
Well, they're requiring us to identify.
they certainly are. We're going to do whatever they tell us.
We went to a meeting, Mason and I were watching last couple weeks ago, and part of it was the national funding for SPED, essentially. And they talk about it's been flat for, I don't know, Mason can tell me better, like 3 or 4 years. And I never thought of it this way, but they said when it's flat, that essentially means it's a funding cut because all the inflation and other things are going on.
Right.
Is that do I assume that is also the case right here in Texas? That we're having the same issue?
That is the case. In addition to all of the money we lost, and I don't want to speak out of, this is more Ms. McDowell's wheelhouse, but the money we lost with the Medicaid issue when the federal government sued the state of Texas. So no fault of our own, but we all lost money. I want to say we lost about $1 million. Yes. Yeah, and still waiting, but hopefully.
And we're scheduled to pay them back $30,000 this year. Like they say, we owe them money for this year.
Surely they'll wait as long as we've waited. Okay. All right, I better get out of here.
Thank you, ma'am. Right. Dr. Bromley? Board, we're going to item 7C. Bond safety and security update.
I'm ready. Let's get them.
Lady Bulldogs up 22.5 right now.
Awesome. There we go.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, President Hanks, Dr. Jackson here for your February bond update. Quick check-in on Lomax. Not a tremendous amount of progress. We've been fighting rain and water and all those things, but the dirt is still moving, and we're getting to a point where we're trying to get the piers poured and the foundation components started. But right now they're working on the drainage and the north end and the sewage lines and some of those different components that you see there, as well as underground electrical and plumbing will begin once they pour those piers. So things are moving good there. Just again, it's rain. We had a ton of rain today. We have rain coming tomorrow. So, obviously that pushes that timeline when you're dealing with the dirt. Stadium checking in. If you've not noticed, we do have the striping out there, Mr. Shoppy, right? And it completes the package out there from an eye stance and from a eye view there, as you can see in the pictures. But the track and the turf installation component wise is complete. The turf, there will be some layers to it. Symmetry will come back out. They put a ton of the pellets down, the Brock, which is the wood chip, so it kind of looks a little funny at first, and then they come back through and then they start to rake it out and it kind of cleans it up. So if you're out there and you see that, don't panic. That's part of the process. It has to set a certain amount of time and get enough water to get settled in with the turf, and then they come and bring their machinery out to kind of clean that up and bring the color back. We've also got kitchen equipment coming in, so in the concession areas, as well up in the suite and the press box, the 3rd level and the 4th level, those items are starting to get put in. And then you'll start seeing the wayfinding going in here at the end of February, early March. So those are going to be the overhead signs and some of the different items that you would see when you get inside the stadium. It kind of gives you directional items to what section you go to and so forth. Bleacher transitions are going to start going in, so you've been out there. There's some gaps and some of the spacing and all those things are going to start to close out. And then lastly, those speakers are going to start going in. So those anchor, you see those poles that kind of wrap around the stadium. Eventually, they'll have speakers on those and kind of almost like a surround sound field in that stadium. So that'll be kind of some of the last pieces. And then the fencing started going up this week. So you can see that when you're out there as far as the different areas going under the tunnel and so forth. Remember, we've got 6 exits in the facility, but only 4 of those are main entry points. Otherwise, it's security egress, right? So if we have to evacuate the stadium, there's 6 points of egress or exit for that. Press box is real close. The picture at the bottom left there is the ceiling grid with the lighting that goes in. The terrazzo at that base floor of the press box at the entry is complete. It's wrapped up so you can't really see it, but it's very, very nice. It's fully, the AC's on. Everything's kind of completing. The flooring is complete. They're wrapping up the kitchen area, and I mentioned the same component as far as the kitchen equipment will be going in there. They put the blinds up or starting to put the blinds up on the 3rd level and going into the 4th level. And then again, the signage and the furniture, even in that level, will start to come in here at the end of February because substantial completion is at that point for the stadium itself. Going into Legacy Complex, it's totally dramatically changed. You get in there and it just looks totally different. It's hard to maneuver right now. You can't get in there a lot because they're doing all the flooring. So there's spots you got to kind of walk around and be, sensitive to it. So our tours have been real limited and people getting in. But the walls are up. The locker rooms are kind of getting finished out. You can see in that middle picture there, that's one of the football locker rooms. And to the right is one of the cross-country track locker rooms. So you can just kind of see how that finishes. And then those lockers will come in there later. Terrazzo in the main hallway, the main corridor that takes you right by the weight room and down by the other programs. Soccer, cross country, and track is finished, and they're doing the main entry in that top left picture. You can kind of see them working on that. In the PD space, they're filling out the ceiling frame, so to get that grid up there, and then the drywall's done. They put the tile on the wall of that riser there, and then the HVAC system is fully running. That bottom right picture is actually the storefront looking into the weight room. Right. So that's you standing in the hallway looking into the weight room that will eventually be a glass front. Something I've not spent a lot of time on because it's really at the very end of all the projects per se as it relates to the high school and some of these other major projects is the renovation of the competition gym. So I just want to spend a minute kind of talking about that. It's scheduled to start the summer of 26, but we'll be doing some work while the high school is starting. Remember, the high school is going to start this summer demo-wise, and I'll go back through that quickly for you. But they're going to put a roof on it. They're going to do some things on the outside that they can do here and there. But the renovation itself, as getting inside the facility, will start the summer of 26 and last 12 weeks.
Yeah. Just as he does the update board, and you've been gracious, and we don't have to resell this whole concept to you, but just today, with the heavy rains.
Yes, sir.
First thing, Bromley and I looked at each other and we started walking, and there's water standing in some places. Yes. So these things are in time for what needs to happen, because still when it rains for 10 minutes in LaPorte, we get water in some standing buildings. And so these renovations are going to be greatly needed. So just a point of order for that.
Is this the gym in the junior parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so why are we waiting till 2026? Is it part of the bond sale process, or?
It is.
Okay.
And the high school, being that it's going to totally
take precedence over
change the whole makeup of the high school for one entire year. Those kids can't use that interior portion of the building.
Okay.
We're trying to keep all the force over there to get that done and then come in there. This, again, 12 weeks, it's not quite as, but keeping the crews separated to ensure we're not getting, the timeline on that high school is critical because it displaces students. While this does as well, it's not as impactful as the student body. As far as what's going to happen in there, y'all are aware we've got termite damage on that gym floor. It's bad. I think we got plywood covering it up. Right. So we're going to come back in there. The team will repair all that and treat that and do the things they need to do, and then we'll come back and refinish. The other part of the floor is good. There's no issues with it, so there's no reason to tear it all up and put a new floor in. So it'll be refinished. The storefront, so the entry point off of the junior lot, when you come in, will be redone. Come in, there'll be some cosmetics in there. The flooring when you enter, so the lobby, and I'll show you a picture here in a second, but the lobby will have new flooring there. And then really, when you go into the locker set, what we've done, we went from, let me just go here. We've gone from 8 programs that it serves, because remember, cross-country track, boys and girls, is going to Legacy Complex. and we're bringing cheer over, right, to give them their own space. So in the end of this, every program will have their own space, because we share gyms with cheer and dance, and they get heated on those things. So this will be they get after it. But that was my first week on the job, I remember. But anywho, so it'll take us from 8 programs to 6. So that's golf, boys and girls, swim, boys and girls. That's cheer. And that is also girls' PE that will be out there because they use that as a space. And then they're going to reconfigure just some of the makeup, but the majority component is they're going to remove those 2 walls and open that up. So the cheer space and the PE space will become larger. And again, going in, cleaning it up, painting, new lighting throughout. They're going to open the ceiling up. If you've been in there, you feel like you're walking into the dark hall. So all that should be, again, very, very nice as it relates to the cosmetic feel when you go in there. Any question on the gym?
Will they keep the seating up top, that second level?
So we're looking at actually closing that off and putting new bleachers in,
cool.
and using that as some storage component up there. Yeah, so it'll have the actual pull-out bleachers, not the.
Really nice.
Yeah, it'll be a totally different looking facility. The ductwork in there will be getting looked at and so forth. Real quick, and you've seen this, but I'll go back through it because we're getting real close here in March for the first GMP, and that'll be the hydronic component. That'll be all the long lead items to get things ordered. So when we're ready to go in the summer, that work can start and the renovation can start. But it affects the middle of the facility, so there will be a different pathway for the students. So if you're in the B building on the east side of the facility, your way to get to the cafeteria is totally different than what you do now. So there'll be a lot of work that going with Dr. Griffin and working with the community as we get closer to that, what that's going to look like as it relates to the students and just all of those efforts.
But once we get started, if I may say, Dr. Bromley,
yes, sir.
Presentation, it'll be 1 2-semester school year.
Right. 1 year.
So it's not like we have to do this for 2 or 3 years.
No.
It'll be a massive project, but it'll be something that we won't have to suffer forever for long.
And remember, in that, obviously, the number one goal out of the gate, regardless of what kind of paint we put on the wall, how high the ceilings go, was how do we manage the water? Because we had that incident today, literally. It was coming out of the planters in the middle of the facility. Water was, yes. So.
Is this the tree?
The tree is part of that process in that atrium area that's glassed in.
Are we trying to keep the tree? I mean, I'm not putting anybody on the spot here, but.
No, we're not trying to keep the tree.
Okay.
We can't do this work with the tree there.
So during the transition, the portable trailers will actually be right out here. Let me get my bearings on this side here next to the detention area. So that would be your kind of main office. Dr. Griffin and his team, the nurse and so forth, would be housed there. And then we will relocate what that looks like interior. There's some open space that he'll work with his team to ensure people are where they need. Everybody will have a space. It just won't look the same that it has normally. So you will not be able to come in the front because that will literally be, they'll be driving dump trucks in the front entry space of where you typically would go in.
Can we pay for the portable buildings out of the bond funds?
Yes, it'll be a part of this project. Yep. And then coming back in the end, of course, the programming will come back to the center of the facility, and you can see what that looks like there. Really, the front office makeup will look similar. There's some changes as far as where the office sits and how some of the rearranging. But give or take, it creates a center point, and then the kids will actually move around the facility a little different. And I've shown you these. I don't know if I've given you the up-to-date pictures, but I put them on there. 22-foot ceilings. They're going to take the piers that are currently in there, those cylinder blocks, and actually go up from them. So they'll be able to use those. That's how they're going to raise the ceiling and put the glass component up there and so forth. So that's looking down the hall into fine arts, into the current counseling, but all that goes away. It actually goes as far back as that fine arts hall and the turn there where that open door is. It takes you out to the dumpster area. That's how far it goes back. Yes. So a turnaround look at Tuffy, where Tuffy sits now. Everybody's been in there, so you kind of get an idea of what that looks like. Looking back into the entry point, those are our TVs that we've put up there, right, Blake? Those TV, we're struggling with some images there. It looks like we're got some, anyway, but looking back there, another picture, another angle. And then this is the turn that would be technically new. So if I'm going, right, if I'm going to the B building, I'm going to come in that main foyer there, walk into the main, and I'm going to take that right. I'm looking at the courtyard. That'll be turf, and that's where the detention system's at. And then I'm coming around, and that takes me into the B building. right? So that admin suite is kind of in the middle, and you can see there's a hallway, but that's not where kids will access that. That'll be an administrative hallway that'll be managed by Dr. Griffin and his team. So looking back at the courtyard, all that will be turf. You know, right now we drive a zero-turn mower in there and go mow. so we don't have to do that anymore. So that'll be nice. And obviously Doc's got some ideas for what he can do with the kiddos out there. But that number 3 is critical. It's the same modular system that we use that we used at the stadium. The whole crab box that we've shown you and those R tanks that we talked about. It's the same model, same setup that we'll do on that north side of that courtyard, and that'll help again grab some of that water. And we've scoped those lines and done everything from a engineer perspective those guys have to ensure that we know where water's going and how we can manage that.
Are we putting grass on top of those things, or are we putting a layer of concrete? I'm confused what we're looking
turf.
at. Turf.
All that's turf, yes, sir.
Is that
Now
break-
the
break
detention
dancing on
system, they'll build that down, right, and then they put some
Put a
gravel.
layer
and then
over
they-
it.
and then
That
there's
was my
black tar.
concern. Was
Yes, sir.
we have
And then-
concrete over here, and I didn't want to
Right, and it'll build
sink
all that
in
up, and then, but it'll have a system where it absorbs that and gets into it.
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
Nope.
Good riddance.
I got a question. So I had two questions that were posed to me
Yes, sir.
randomly today. So somebody asked me, what's our new timeline to demo the current field house?
Yes,
For parking
so, you know, there were, at one point, there was concerns with the power and how it ran. We thought we were going to be able to disconnect the power because we thought it was powered going over to the current competition gym. We found out that's not true. So it'll be after graduation into the summer. It'll still be that last thing to go. That halfway, the old concession thing there,
That corner.
all that will stay, and we'll have to have a great plan for graduation on how people get in and out. But it will be the very last thing. So in the summer, it'll be in the summer, in June.
So like weather permitting, will be ready to go, like the new parking lot before school starts, you think?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Cool.
Yep.
And the other one, I know it's not on your bingo card tonight, but they asked me about the library books, and we talking in December about we're going to order the books in January. Do we have an update on that?
Yeah, so Julie, you want to?
Why, yes, we do. Sorry, I had to find my button. So we have been, we conducted a full inventory of our libraries in January. You need to stand up so you can see me. We conducted a full inventory of our libraries in January to see where our libraries stood. What was the state of our libraries? How many books were there? What was the ratio of books to enrollment? Does it meet library standards? How old were the collections? Just really understand where we were. From that, we have established a 5-year plan to phase in to get to certain library standards. We don't have it complete yet to present to you, but that's what we're working on, and we will start ordering books by the end of February to meet those standards as we start phasing that in. So to answer your question.
The funds have been allocated.
Okay, I'll present.
Right. What we're trying to do is ensure that we have equity across our campuses with our libraries, and that we ensure that our libraries meet minimum standards as we move forward and build them up. What we didn't want to do is provide equal funding in some kind of way that didn't close some gaps if there were gaps to close. And so we wanted to really understand what we had and what we needed to better understand how to math it, if that makes any kind of sense. So that's kind of where we are. So I'm happy to present kind of a long-range plan of what we're doing to improve that. Other things that we're looking at are how to provide access to ebooks for our students. And so part of what we're doing is to fund the other side of the library, which are the spaces in the libraries, and providing some proposals for some technology so kids can maybe check out e-readers or iPads of some sort so they can have access to all their e-books that we have subscriptions for, provide learning spaces in the library, so lots of different projects like that as well.
I appreciate that. I've had, I'd say several. I appreciate the approach that it's not a one-stop fix for everybody. I've had elementary schools, for example, when we talked about this in December, they said, ebooks are great, but we got young kids that we have to have a book in their hand.
Correct.
And so, I hope that that's part of the equation.
Absolutely.
We had, and two, again, I don't put you on the spot, but again, if you have the numbers, I'd be curious to see just on, I love the 5-year plan, but if we looked at how much did we purge from the, I know we had been years, I call it maybe not purging, not the right word, but clearing off some of these old books. It's been years, my understanding, since we've done that. So, but when you go into the libraries now, my point is that they're pretty empty. So do we know what percentage of books we lost? And then based on this 5-year plan, how many of those, are we going to get back to those levels? Or are we?
So So I don't know exactly how many we've lost. I can certainly dig into some of our records and see what we can provide. But what I can tell you is where we are currently. I can tell you where we should be based on TLAC standards, Texas Library Association standards, in terms of, if you are considered there's a whole rubric, but if you're considered a proficient campus, you have this many print copies to students, and then you have this % of your collection is digital per students or campus enrollment. And so there's an equation that comes into all of that. And so based on where we are, I can present to you where each of our campuses are currently, what our plan is to get them to scaffold to where we want them to be, which obviously is distinguished eventually. We want our campus libraries to just be a real hub of learning on every campus, but it's going to take us some time to get back to that place. There's also some standards in place about what campus budgets should look like. How much per student are we annually budgeting to ensure that recursive, as you mentioned, that recursive cycle of circulation is happening, that we're not just purging books or weeding books as we should to keep up with times and ensure that our books are good, but then we're also replenishing along the backside. And I think that's something that maybe we haven't paid as much attention to in the past, but we want to as we move forward. Just have a better plan for what we're doing.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. But
Yes.
that 5-year plan, is that still part of the bond? Is that all tied up
Yes,
bond funds?
yes.
Yep.
Some of that will be, yes.
Another piece that I didn't put in here, but we're working with Dr. Burke and the fine arts team is we're going to buy some new band uniforms. So that was something important that we're starting to work on. Yeah, that was part of the bond part. Any questions?
No, I don't know if this is the last meeting for you. If not, so we have one more.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, extremely
grill you.
blessed.
No. I don't want to grill you. And all joking aside, congratulations.
Thank you.
You are a rock star, and you've definitely earned the affection and respect of everybody here, and have really been a force and rejuvenating the LP brand. And I really, really appreciate you. And we know when you got rock stars, and we wish you well in your next endeavor. And we'll do something more formal later, but definitely go on a record finally that the cat's out of the bag, that they're lucky to have you, and you always got a home here if it doesn't work out. They run you out of town, you can come back.
I appreciate it. Find me a closet somewhere. LaPorte has been home and an unbelievable support system. And Dr. Jackson, thank you personally for just putting me on your hip and slapping me and teaching me and picking me up and all those things. And thank y'all for your support. Obviously, couldn't have done any of this without the teammates. And we've got an unbelievable leadership team. Obviously, it starts with him. We get in rooms and amazing things happen. So I've just been blessed to be a part of the ride. LaPorte is home, and it will always be, a part of me as I move on and all that. So I just appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for everything you've done for me and my family.
Thank you.
I want to know how your son's baseball coach was.
Yeah, it's a struggle, boss. Right? So we're working through that.
Thank you, Dr. Bromley.
Thank you, Dr.
All right, board, we're going to move to item 8, our consent agenda. The board will now proceed with our consent agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within this consent agenda will be acted on at one time. You ready?
Sir.
All right. A, determine and approve a consent agenda items. B, approve board meeting minutes. 1, regular board meeting minutes, January 14th, 2025. 2, called board meeting workshop, February 4th, 2025. C, receive principals reports. 1, Early Childhood Center. 2, Bayshore Elementary. 3, College Park Elementary. 4, Heritage Elementary. 5, Jenny Reed Elementary. 6, LaPorte Elementary. 7, Leo Rizzuto Elementary. 8, Lomax Elementary. 9, Baker 6th grade campus. 10, LaPorte Junior High. 11, Lomax Junior High. 12, LaPorte High School. 13, DeWalt High School. D, receive financial reports for December 2024. E, receive human resources report. F, receive quarterly investment report. G, adopt resolution number 2025-02, pay employees for missed work days due to school closure or winter storm Enzo. H, approve annual financial audit engagement letter for the year ending June 30th, 2025. I, approve attendance waiver for January 21st, 22nd, 2025 for winter storm Enzo. J, approve budget amendment. K, approve employment of professional staff. L, approve propose for depository services and authorize the superintendent or designee to execute a contract. M, approve renewal of purchase property of casualty insurance coverage.
Pull.
N, approve scaling for success grant partnership agreement with communities in school. Vice President Martin, will you please read back our consent agenda?
Mr. President, we have items for approval A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and N.
All right, I seek a motion to approve our consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Paris. All right, call for the vote. It is unanimous. Thank you, board. We'll now hear item M. Mason?
I would be remiss if I didn't have as an insurance person in the insurance community, if I didn't have an opportunity to share good news in insurance. Can someone talk to us a little bit about why our premiums went down? Because that has never happened in the history of anybody's insurance policy.
They stopped letting you drive the car.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah. I have other questions, but that's a good start.
I'm going to let Mr. Joe Blasi answer that for us, but I'm going to stay in here just in case he.
It's her fault.
Yeah.
She gets the credit. No, we're just excited to have good news tonight, and really a lot of the reason has to do with what Dr. Brahma just went over. You guys are investing a lot in the footprint, and underwriters recognize that, and they appreciate that. So, you know, they receive thousands of underwriting submissions every week and month, and so we have an opportunity here with all the great work that's being done to really demonstrate how we are the cream of the crop. And of course they do a lot of technical modeling and the like, and so access points to these different insurance companies. I think there's 18 now on the program. You know, has a lot to do with it, but you guys, as you continue to make these investments and commitments to maintenance and buildings that are more resistant, that certainly weighs a lot in the underwriting process. So we're excited about it.
The other thing was, we have our current stadium and Legacy Center on a builder's risk policy,
right,
and it's coming pretty soon. Is there a way that you can get us an indication on if there's going to be an increase in premium?
We have. There will be an additional premium that's calculated as of the date of substantial completion.
Okay. But we don't have an estimate on what that premium is going to be.
At this point, the stadium, that's going to add about $42 million of value. The additional premium there is about $313,000, and then the Fieldhouse and Learning Center is probably another $164,000, give or take, when it's added.
Okay. And then our limit of $125 million, is that only for windstorm, or is that all perils?
That's all perils except flood, and then there's $65 million for flood.
Okay. Okay, that's all. Thanks.
Is that good?
Yeah, sure, it's good, I guess. I was excited we had a lower premium.
Yeah.
That's
Me too.
no one ever, everybody looks at
Celebrate
insurance and is
those.
not happy, but that's good news. Now it's going back up when we get finished, but for now it's
But at
good.
least it's evening it out.
Yeah.
That's right. It's not adding to it, so we were happy.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
Appreciate
guys very much. Appreciate the opportunity. And boy, am I sorry to hear that news, but congratulations. Thank you for all your help.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, board, I seek a motion.
So moved.
Second? Second. All right, call for the vote. It is approved. Wonderful. All right, we'll now move to item 9, our action and or discussion items. Consider and approve possible amendment to the, oh, no, that's the old one. We don't have any action items on this. Action on closed session items. We don't have any on that. So we will go to item 11, closing comments from the Board of Trustees and the Superintendent. Who would like to start?
Russell.
As we know, we just wrapped up another great musical season. The kids were wonderful. The production, as always, received so many compliments from people that came from communities all around that were like, holy cow, that's not a high school musical. I think I heard that like 4 or 5 times from people that had come in that had never seen one of our productions. So that's wonderful. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out to our counselors. I know that most of them have left, but it is a heck of a job. And you just heard Billy talk about how the kiddos, the behaviors, the things that we're seeing have gotten harder and harder. And you know, our parents are sending us the very best that they have, but some of them come from some really hard places. And so our counselors are really spending a lot of time. Many of you may or may not know this, but in order for them to even be evaluated in special education, those poor counselors have to gather all the data, hold all the meetings. It's a lot, and it just keeps growing. So we've got some really good ones, and so really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Lacey?
The musical was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and it was one of the first musicals I've seen in a long time where there was really no dialogue. It was all actually a musical, and it was very good. Thank you, Mr. Blasey, for coming all the way out here to speak to us, and Dr. Jackson for keeping us updated on the legislature. And that's about all I have. Have a great rest of your week and month.
Thank you. Me? Oh, I got a few. So I'm remiss. I got to say thank you first because it's what I'm really passionate about. But Ralph, the nutrition department, the last couple meals have been provided by you guys. And look, I love, as a chamber guy, I love all the restaurants in town. But man, you guys are, it's impressive. I'm married to y'all's chicken fried steak, but y'all are, y'all got some other options now. It's making my life difficult, but we appreciate you. So it really is a cool deal. So thank y'all for that. And then I want to say thank you to the LaPorte Elementary choir. There's 10 kids. Man, those guys were saying the Pledge of Allegiance. They were like, you could hear them like over everybody in the whole room. And I was like, those guys are impressive. Like 10 kids, and they were, yeah. And so that is, Mrs. Parrish was my neighbor, and so I'm gonna have to get her back for the dance. But again, those guys were awesome. So thank y'all. Musical is amazing as always. It's one of our favorite ones in the last several years, and we were sad. We wanted it to go longer. It was pretty cool. So thank you to all those parents and staff and volunteers that made that happen. Man, it was awesome. Dr. Bromley, again, I know you get another chance, but again, as everybody else has said, thank you for your service. Feels like such a short time. It's just been a kind of a blur, but we I think we had to hit the ground running pretty hard with this bond, and so we appreciate the work. And I know it's only a part of your job, but you've been a blessing to our district, man. And we wish you certainly the best of luck. Last and least, not least, I gotta say thank you, Dr. Jackson. So we get, with those, I got two more things. The school closing, so we can never, public opinion, you get 400,000 different answers on what to do, but I appreciate you guys taking the approach you did with the school closings. My kids loved the snow day. So, I know people are like, "What are you closed? How dare you?" I guess some Northerners, they couldn't believe we closed, but that was the right thing to do, and so I appreciate that. And also, congratulations to the Lady Dogs. Thank y'all for the T-shirts, and congratulations on the big win this
Lady
year.
Dogs won 61-29.
So I just wanted to say this is such a fun time of year for students who are going to be going to the next level, because they get to learn about some of the different things they're going to be doing. So saying that, 5th grade got to visit Baker, and they got to see what our band and orchestra did. Our 8th graders got to go see the musical. Just kind of planting those seeds for the things that are potentially in our students' futures. So I love that. I know that a lot of our students get to see some of the athletics more so than they get to see some of the other things behind the scenes. And so I just love that opportunity for them, and to hear what they have to say about it. And they're excited. There's a lot of buzz going around. They're very, very happy about what's coming up for them. So glad to see some of those things growing in our fine arts and stuff as well. Yes, Dr. Bromley, I sent him a message and said, "Man, come on," but I'm happy for you. Security has been on my heart from the moment I got on this board, and again, I feel like that was one of your passions, and it showed. So thank you for all that you did to help ensure that we are the best at what we have before secure our schools. So thank you for that. That leaves a legacy for me just as much as anything else. I think that stands out and achieved during your time here. And again, our counselors, thank you so much for all you do. Again, you aren't here, but hopefully you're still listening, because we love you. That's all.
Well, my wife told me to take the text message off that I was going to send you, but we are going to miss you.
Thank you, Johanna.
Yeah, she was. I let her preview all my stuff before. I said, "Is this proper to say?" And she goes, "Probably not." And I said, "Okay, I'll change it." But we are going to miss you. Awesome job, Karen. I'm not sure. Do they have videos of the past musicals like 1988? Because that was my musical, and that was the only one I was ever in. And still don't know why Miss Angelo picked me, because I still can't sing to this day. But it was fun. It was enjoyable to watch. And I'm not sure if that Asher was better than me, but I would like to see the video if we can find it.
I know we had it for a long way back.
Yeah, so if you can find it, I would like to find it, okay? I mean, it was,
Let's put y'all up against each other right now. Let y'all act right now.
it's singing. I can't sing.
Oh, okay.
I mouth most of it, so, but anyway, other than that, that's all.
Thank you, Russell. I appreciate you acknowledging my daughter. That was a pleasant surprise when I looked at the agenda. That's just awesome. Anytime you see your kid. The musical, I want to go on and continue to say this was our first year without Miss A. And obviously, there's a lot of anxiety as you go into the program. It's been so storied and has such a reputation, and it didn't drop off at all. Everybody stepped up in that space. The alumni came back like they always do, and just poured their heart and soul in. And you see a group of that is so inclusive, and you see every walk of life from every nook and cranny on this campus. With the exception of one boy, all of those brothers were football players. And to have them sing and dance and do the things they do was remarkable. Obviously, Joseph was fantastic, but just the essence of what the musical represents, it's so hard for people to understand and grasp why it's so different. You have to experience it, and to see it alive and well. Miss Angelo, she left a legacy forever, and it lives on in all these kids, and it's remarkable. And I really, truly believe in the bottom of my heart that that is a point of difference for LaPorte ISD. I think it has helped head off a lot of issues that a lot of other schools deal with nationwide because of that group and the spirit that goes out in the hall. So great job for everybody associated there. The spring sports have all started. Obviously, we got basketball. Boys finished tonight, and they go to playoffs next week also. Baseball, softball, they're all starting. I know soccer's going on, so there's plenty of opportunities to get out there and support. But again, I appreciate everybody's effort, and at this time, we will adjourn.